Hey everybody, my name is Jason Lund and I'm with 920 Home Buyers. I have a good friend of mine, Andrew Engel from Fresh Pick Leads here today. I wanted him to come into my office today and we're going to chat a little bit about Fresh Pick Leads and what Fresh Pick Leads can do for you. But also to dive into more of the different categories of probate, notice of default and things like that. So if you want to introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, I'm Andrew Engel. I am a real estate investor myself, but also built this software business to help other real estate investors. It was really born out of kind of fulfilling a need that I had trying to find leads when I was getting started. I found out that, in order to start getting off-market deals, people like Jason here were looking on court records, scanning for divorces, evictions, foreclosures, and probates. And me, with having a software background, I immediately went to, well, I want to automate this. So built some software over the next couple months, brought it forward to Jason, and we kind of worked together, got the kinks out, and kind of built an automated system to be able to pull that information daily, so it's at 100% fresh, and realized that it was something that would fulfill a need for a lot of other people too. So turn that into a business where people can essentially subscribe, or if they want to buy a one-time list as well, that works too. But otherwise, subscribe by county, whatever counties you're subscribed to. You can log into our website, download those leads, whatever was filed for today, and then you can get to marketing. So it's a good way to get fresh county data that other list providers tend to have a much longer delay before getting to you. So
Perfect. You said fresh like 15 times.
I did.
So, and also the company is called Fresh Pick Leads. So can you explain how fresh your leads are versus, let's say, a PropStream company or another national company that can also pull some data? Can you explain the difference between your company and what you guys do versus those companies?
Absolutely. So those companies are typically buying their data from other data aggregators. So a lot of those companies that are getting you divorces or getting you probates, they're just buying them all from different data repositories, or a lot of them are the same ones. And a lot of the times, if you look at and compare those records to actual county records, you'll see they could be anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to more old. So what we do is we are collecting them every day. So you are getting them the same day that those that those court cases are filed. So that's great, because a lot of times, for like foreclosures, for example, the person who's going through foreclosure, they aren't actually notified that they've been filed on until they get a letter from the county saying you have a foreclosure filed on you. And we have some of our customers who will get the mailing out the same day that they get it from Fresh Pick Leads, and that person will actually receive the letter from the real estate investor before they get the letter from the court. And that can happen with any of the leads. Obviously, with probate, people are understanding they're kind of filing that. They're fully aware that that's happening. But as far as divorces, I mean, you're kind of getting some sticky situations if one spouse files on the other without telling them, and I mean that happens. So it's that fresh.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking on the whole divorce things, I mean, just because of fresh leads and things like that, people also have to take into consideration that. So like, for me, for our company, I'm not going to disclose how long we wait for it, but on our divorce filing, we know that, and we've had that happen to us before, and it looks very terrible on our company when I'm the one that's telling either he or she that the other spouse is filing divorce. So we've looked at that. We pull the data, we put a time lapse on it, and we wait and give it appropriate time, or what we feel appropriate time to do that. Just because it's fresh doesn't mean that you have to send everything fresh that exact same day, because like you said, like I said, and I've experienced, you can piss a lot of people off, and that's not good if you want you know, better ratings and stuff like that for your business or to, you know, whatever. I mean, I look at it as we're here to impact people's lives. You know, if I can buy your house, I can, you know, if I can't buy your house, I want to be able to at least put you in a better direction. I don't want to have people consistently calling me and saying, hey, man, I'm sick and tired of you getting this data before, or reaching out to me before, you know, these things are happening and, causing issues in my household. 'Cause that's what happens is, you know, people don't know what's going on and all of a sudden they get a letter with the mail and say, hey, your spouse filed a divorce, you know?
Yep.
So, but yeah, cool. So can you tell a little bit more about like your subscription service and like what that includes? Like, I know it's a monthly thing. It's fresh, so we're getting these daily, but can you kind of break that down a little bit more?
Yep. So every day, what we're doing is we are pulling directly from the court system of Wisconsin. And we're pulling for the entire state of Wisconsin at the same time every day. It's usually 4 p.m. So that's the entire state, every single county. So anything that's been filed before 4 p.m., that's what's being included. If something gets filed, it happens to be filed after 4 p.m., that's just included in the next day's poll. But like I said, it's divorces, evictions, foreclosures, and probates. So that is the what's being pulled right now. And anything that or anybody who subscribed can go onto the website, freshpickleads.com. They log in and then they basically click a button and it pulls in all the leads that have been filed for the counties that they're subscribed to. They can download them into a CSV file. They're like Excel files, and each lead type is in a separate file. So you can take that list, and the nice thing about it, and it goes back to what you were just saying about how you handle divorces. You don't necessarily want them to be fresh, but in other people's businesses, I kind of built Fresh Pick Leads to allow people to use it the way that they feel is working the best for them, for how they're marketing. So we included everything. For example, for probates, there might be, you know, the person who passed away, their house and their information, and then every heir. There might be 20 heirs. There might be personal representatives. There might be special administrators. There are interested parties. There are petitioners. There are many different parties. And we leave it open and we provide all of that information because some people may want to market every single person who's involved in that case filing, when others may say, no, I just want to hit the special administrator or the personal representative. That's the person leading the probate, or the executor, the person who is responsible for the house. But
Before you jump into something else.
Yeah.
So what do you see the benefit as? Is just a mailing to one person? Or do you see or what's the benefit to mailing to all of them?
Well, the benefit to mailing one person is it is sometimes easier to measure the results, because you can say, I'm always getting to the special administrator, or always to maybe the heirs or something like that. And you can measure your results over time. And if you want to make a change and say, no, I think we just need to target this person or these types of parties, it's much easier to make that business decision. But the benefit to doing everybody is you're not really leaving anything to the unknown. You are getting everyone involved, everyone on the same page. And sometimes there's going to be like 5 heirs and there's no special administrator. So you're trying to really get to the person who is maybe, you know, maybe there's a bunch of brothers and sisters and there's that one sibling who really takes charge and is the one who's always been responsible for everything. We want to make sure that they get the letter so that they take action on it.
Correct. I mean, and from my side, you know, I would like mailing to all the heirs, because instead of me mailing to one person and then them coming back and saying, hey, this one company reached out to me that offered to sell, you're not touching, or you're not exposing yourself to those other heirs, I guess. So like, we really like marketing to all of them because, like you said, you might have the special administrator here, but 3 or 4 of the heirs will say, hey, no, we want to do this fast. And they can go back and change the mind of the special administrator.
Absolutely. And sometimes the special administrator is like a hired out probate attorney. So getting to them doesn't make sense all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, what other deed types do you got? So we talked about probate.
Yep.
What about notice of default?
So in other words, pre-foreclosures. So again, this is another great one. To get in front of people as soon as humanly possible, because, you know, this is at the time that the mortgage company is saying, okay, we haven't received payment for at least 120 days. We are going to now file a foreclosure with the court system. And from that time that it's filed, they do have some time before they can, well, for that time to cure it. So it's best to get in front of them as soon as humanly possible. And if you can get in contact with them before they get the letter, I mean, that in some cases can be good because they are likely known that they're knowing that they're not making payments, that they are behind, and it's just a matter of time before foreclosure is filed.
So how long does it take? So, I mean, if I'm a homeowner, how long does it take normally if I'm not making payments or whatever reason the bank is gonna possibly foreclose on it? How long does that process normally take?
Well, it's 120 days of non-payment until a foreclosure can be filed from the bank. And then from there, it's usually about 6 months or longer. Because a bank can choose whether to speed the process up or not. And if they choose to speed it up, they can no longer go after that person for deficiencies. Which means if it sells at an auction for less than what the bank is owed, the bank can then go after that person personally to get those remaining deficiencies. But it can be dragged out a little bit longer, and they get I think a few extra months of time to cure it. But if they if it then goes to auction, then the bank does have the ability to go after that person for deficiencies. So it really just depends on the bank. If they want to go sooner, they can't go after the person for deficiencies. If they agree to go the full length of time that they need, then they can go after them for deficiencies at that point.
Okay. So really, you're saying, so it'd be 90 days before the bank can actually do anything. And then usually the banks aren't typically doing anything until about 6 months later from what you're seeing, correct?
Correct. Yeah, and it's been crazy since COVID and the foreclosure moratorium.
Yeah.
You know, and this is another reason that's important to get in front of them as soon as the case is filed, because I've seen it where it's been dragged out a couple of years. You know, like a foreclosure happened right before COVID, or maybe it was like even 6 months before COVID. And they were still able to stay in the house, not making payments for past couple of years, and it's just now going to auction. And, you know, we've talked with many of those people, and they're just so far behind that there's nothing we can even do for them.
Yeah.
Because they've just racked up. A lot of people, what people don't understand is you're not only having to pay back what you owe the bank and all of the missed payments, but there is interest on those payments, there are fees on those payments, and you're also paying for the attorney's fees and legal fees of the foreclosure having to be filed. So all of that can be piled on top of an already, you know, pretty significantly high mortgage if they bought property fairly recently, and go above what it's even worth. So that if you can get in front of them before those charges start racking up, you know, if it's going to be another year before they actually go to auction and then they want to sell, that may take it something that you can buy and help them to you can't buy it all.
Yeah, what's crazy because I never really thought about it. We brought up the thing about, you know, the timeline kind of being longer with COVID and stuff like that. So I started real estate in 2010, but I dealt with a lot of people that you know, that were in foreclosure and things like that from 06, 07 and 08. And it was amazing to even be in like 2012 and 2013, and we're still dealing with those same foreclosures that were happening at that time period where people are basically ghost living in their house or whatever the word is that they use. But, or ghost foreclosures or zombie
Yeah,
foreclosures, or
zombie
whatever they call
foreclosure.
them. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but I never thought of that happening now. And I don't know why I didn't. Cause like I know, I follow a lot of that stuff, like the last report that I saw that it was still like 11% of all houses are still in some sort of forbearance with COVID.
Yeah.
Which is actually really crazy to think about. I mean, that's 11 houses out of 100. And that's a lot of
That's a
houses.
lot.
You know, that's basically what, 2 or 3 probably city blocks that, of houses, and you have 11 houses in there.
Mhm.
It's crazy. But it's just really crazy that I did put 2 and 2 together, that the last big correction that we had, the timelines are almost the same as what they are right now. Because
Oh, right, yeah.
they're delayed so far. But that's pretty crazy. So cool. We talked about probate, talked about notes of default. Evictions.
Yeah, evictions. So a lot of people ask me, why would I market to evictions? And what people normally hear from this lead type is, tired landlords. If you're in PropStream or other list providers, they usually call them a tired landlord list. Really, what you're looking for is just kind of a pain point for a landlord that you can come and kind of alleviate the lovely tenant issue that they've been dealing with. So you don't know if this is something that's just, oh, yep, another eviction, if you're a pretty prolific landlord, it may not be even no big deal. But for others who might be brand new, or maybe accidental landlord, or maybe they're getting ready to retire and they just had a slew of bad tenants, and they're just kind of like, I'm so sick of doing this. Get me out. So that's a great way to at least start a conversation. And my favorite thing about evictions and that lead type is you're talking with somebody who often holds other properties.
Mhm.
So if you can solve a problem for them, there's always the question of, do you have other properties? And maybe they don't want to sell, but maybe they don't want to sell that one. Or maybe they don't find it worth it to just sell one, they want to sell all of them. Even if it's just, 2 or 3, but it starts the conversation and you're talking with people who own multiple assets potentially, which is different from the typical, homeowner that may be an owner occupant.
Yeah, I really like the evictions, multiple reasons. One is, like you said, it's other landlords. I own rental properties. I'm on the phone talking with them. And whether it's me buying their house or me helping them find an attorney that can finish the eviction for them, anything that's there, it all works out. And I look at it as for the long-term run, is that for here networking, we're building that relationship. I might not buy anything from them today. I might not buy anything from them ever. But if I can help them out, they might be able to help me out, one way or another. I really like marketing to them. I really like talking to the people that are going through the eviction stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that they don't know. And being part of, I guess, our local industry of real estate investors, and being part of like Wisco REIA and the Fox Valley Apartment Association, I like to be able to share those tools with those people too, and be able to pull them in and say, hey, you should really come check out these meetings. Later today we have a cigar happy hour. Like talk to a landlord today. He called me up and he's like, hey, what kind of service can you offer? It's like, I don't really want to sell it, but what can you do to help me out? So I talked to him a little bit. I'm gonna hook him up with a couple different attorneys, but then I turn around at the end of it and say, hey, if you want to learn more about us and what we do, come out tonight, come to the meeting, come meet other people that are here. Just because you're a landlord and you're going through eviction doesn't mean you have to be on an island by yourself. I've had to file a lot of evictions, and I didn't know what I was doing, but if it wasn't for the other investors that I was surrounding myself with, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, like I said, I like doing it because it gives me an opportunity to talk to other people that I normally wouldn't. So,
Yeah, and you're kind of like on a level playing field with them. Like, hey, you're an investor too. Like, let's talk about this. Let's see what we can do. And I love what you're saying, because there's it doesn't always have to be about buying a house. It's really about, and this kind of goes into a bigger conversation of just direct to seller marketing. Because a lot of people who, I speak with for the first time, they don't really know a lot about direct to seller marketing or like why this service is beneficial.
Yep.
They may go through wholesalers exclusively or buy on the MLS, which are still great ways of going about it. But the thing is, when you get toe to toe with sellers, you get to talk with them and figure out what problems there are to solve. And like you're saying with eviction, just referring them to an attorney, you just built that relationship, which can be many things in the future. It could be buying some more of their properties. It could be partnering. It could be bringing you something. It could be lending, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you do.
Yes, absolutely. And I was just telling a story last night, like we've had it where we come in contact with a seller and they have a beautiful house that they just moved into 2 years ago, and they put a bunch of work into it, and they just want to upgrade, and they want as high price as they could possibly get. It is just screaming realtor, right? Like, and what it comes down to is, hey, I think this is the path that you should take, because I'm not gonna be able to make an offer that makes sense for you or would benefit you.
Or for us, I mean,
Right, right. I can't do anything from that aspect, but what are you planning to do with that money? And a lot of times, if they are, more affluent, or they just have a chunk of money that they don't want to sit in the bank, they're like, oh, I'm gonna throw it into a stock market or CDs or something. And that's where you can start the conversation, like, hey, you will get more money if you sell through a realtor or traditionally, but if you want to talk about, making 8 to 10 double-digit returns, however you pitch it, on your money secured by real estate, it's a great way to just build a relationship and find money partners.
Yep.
And you can't do that when you're not talking directly to the seller.
Yeah, or either that or have some self financing, what I mean?
Exactly,
You
100%.
might be able to give them the price that they want, but
Yes.
after they hold it, no. Yeah. What's left?
Divorces,
Divorces,
yeah, the tough one.
dangerous one.
Yes.
The dangerous one. The
Yes.
one that will still show up at your office and you're ready to fight, but just be careful with that one.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, whatever. I mean, I like divorces too. I should, not literally, but like, I like, the category of working with people that are going through a divorce. Divorce is never fun. It's never fun, especially if you have kids and things like that are involved. And, it's great to be able to be a solution, a fast solution, so they can say, hey, we need to get through this. I don't want to drag it out. It's harder for both of us. Being able to jump in that situation and help those people by offering a fast and a quick sale.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in all of these lead types, divorces included, you have to think about what the sellers are going through, because there is so much involved in a divorce. Because Wisconsin is a 50-50 state, they're having to go through all of their assets and liabilities and dividing them equally. That is a huge undertaking, and not to mention, it's also something that's mentally taxing, just emotionally taxing, especially when there's kids involved. It's just a lot. And some people they're just like, I just want to be done. If we can do this quickly and sometimes discreetly. And that's a huge reason for investors to be talking about people going through divorces, because there's no sign in the yard. They don't have to put something in the yard and then explain to their neighbors why they're selling and have to have that conversation.
Yep.
Every so often, and it's a discreet way to get rid of a property. They don't have to work together. You can be a mediator between the two. I will say that is the hard part with divorces.
Yes,
You're having to, you have to make 2 sales. You basically have to go almost get 2 contracts,
Yeah.
Like you have to sell one person and then you have to sell the other person who naturally does not want to agree with that person. So it's a tricky thing, but if you can get good at it, I mean, that's huge. So I don't want to go without saying, it's difficult, but there is absolutely opportunity.
Yep. So I just closed the deal, I think 2 weeks ago. the same thing, people split up. He had a lot of money and time invested in this house, really wanted the house. She wanted it done really quick.
Mhm.
So in this situation, I explained to all of them, hey, I can get you taken care of, I'll buy the house and get you off of the deed and whatever, get it taken care of. The other side was, he doesn't wanna leave, and he doesn't want to go anywhere, and he wants to buy the house back, but he wasn't in a position, he's a self-employed, contractor here in the Fox Valley. So he needed a little bit of time to get the thing, wrapped up, so, I came in, got them both taken care of, and I bought the house. The day of closing, I turned around and I went over to the house and, he signed a lease with me. So he's, now renting back the property, and it's still the same thing, you know, for him, he likes it because, like you said, with no sign in the yard. They sold the house, none of the neighbors know about it, nobody's gossiping about it, when they see him outside, they're not asking weird questions or anything like that. And he's able to stay in the house, and then, you know, it's a win-win for everybody because she got taken care of, she's moving on with her life, he got taken care of, he's moving on with his life. I'm just in there as a buffer to, help them out by, like I said, renting it to him, and then he's working with a lender right now to be able to buy it back from me. And, so it works out all different ways. But like you said, that's why I really like divorces. There's a lot of different tricky moving parts to it, and it's not just I don't think any of mine have ever been just a traditional home sale. Like,
Yeah.
it's always like, hey, I buy it, I need to rent the garage for a month, or, hey, you know, there's always little different things.
Yep.
that are in it. So I really like that, but like you said, though, the biggest difficult thing is that you're dealing with two different people. And 90% of the time, they absolutely hate each other.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're counseling this person, and you're coming back and you're going, that was crazy. And then you're going over and counseling this person, and you're saying, holy moly, that's crazy. But then you're trying to get them both on the same page to get the thing done. But, you know, the feedback and everything else that I've gotten as a home buyer, has been absolutely amazing, even though that they're a lot of work compared to a lot of other
Yes.
resources. So.
Yeah. But I love what you said, because especially divorces, but any of these lead types, it's not always just about the math and here's your offer. It is about solving a problem and making your offer fit that. That's how you will win in the direct to seller marketing game. And just exactly what you said, take the time to figure out and talk with people, see what the actual problems that need to be solved are. We're not just buying houses, we are solving problems, because not everyone. The way I put it is, we need to often justify the discount that we need to buy it at. So let's be real, we can't buy it at retail rates. We have to justify it if we're gonna be buying it with cash at a discount that we need in order to make an investment that makes sense for us. So to justify that, you have to solve other problems that people are going through.
Yep.
And I mean, I love hearing you're just like a master at doing that, and I think more people need to hear that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's been our company model for all along, is buying problems and selling solutions. You know,
Perfect.
we understand, like, you know, when we get your mail or the leads from you, and we're going to do mail, you know, when we're marketing to them, we already know what their problem is. So there's no point in our marketing that we should be going in there and saying, hey, well, you're going through a divorce. You're going through a divorce.
Yeah,
How does that feel, buddy?
right.
Hey, you know, do we reference it in there? Absolutely. Hey, going through a divorce sucks. You're looking for solutions to get out of this or to make your life easier, call us. We've done this a whole bunch of different times. We have tons of different resources. If we can't help you, we'll get you to somebody that can. And like you said, you know, that could be anybody from a realtor to an auction company, to a junk company, to a moving company. There's so many different resources and things that we can pull in. And in any of these lead sources, that's how we always try and operate, you know, like I always said, you know, we are a solution, but we're not the only one. You know, it might be bringing in the realtor and so on and so forth. And I really like coming from that aspect, and even if I'm not closing deals, it's fine with me because now I have people that are in our community that are going around and saying, hey, this guy came over. He didn't lowball me. He didn't do this. He didn't do all the typical things that normal investors will do. He actually came over, said, hey, I'm the worst fit for you. And you really need to connect with this person and get them onto where they are. And the biggest thing with that, where a lot of other investors miss out on, is that I have these people that are running around and they look at it as, oh, you just gave up a lead and, you know, you're not gonna make money and blah, blah, blah. No, I referred them to this person that's gonna be a better person for them, that's going to take care of them. Now these people are running around and they're talking about me. They're not talking about the other person that helped them in the back end, because I'm the one that walked in that situation. I sold for them to go work with that realtor. I'm the one that sold with them to go work with this trash out company. I'm the one that connected them with the moving company. So it's super nice for me to hear, and I mean, I've heard stories from other people. I've had people call me because we get a lot of referrals, you know, from somebody at church, and they're like, hey, you went over to Andrew's house and you didn't help Andrew by buying his house, but you helped Andrew do this, and now his life is so much more better, and he's got this, and he's got that. Those are the stories I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want somebody going around and be like, oh, he's a typical investor, and all he cares about is money, and, you know, he's just trying to bend me over and take as much as he possibly can, and whatever. That's not the case. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's, our industry really has to focus a lot more on solving people's problems instead of just coming in and just saying, hey, so you're going into foreclosure.
Yep.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks, you know, it does suck, but you can't step on people when they're down, you know, they're
Yep.
humans too, so. You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you, so you can't treat them. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, man, so you got anything else you want to share with the Fresh Pick Leads, or?
Oh, boy. No, I think we covered it. If anyone's interested in, or wants to learn more about the service, you can go to freshpickleads.com, check it out. All the pricing and the offers are on there. You can check me out on Facebook. Add me personally, Andrew Engel, and reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to chat, even if it's, you know, not about leads and just want to talk about real estate or what have you. Solving a seller problem. Love to chat no matter what. So connect me.
Sweet. Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us today. Fresh Pick Leads is freaking awesome. I love the service. It's great. I always tell people though, because everybody thinks I'm serious. I always tell people don't buy it because it doesn't work. That's all a lie. I'm telling people that because I don't want competition. So just so you know, just to make it clear.
It's on video
But,
now.
It's on
It's
video.
documented.
It's on video. But no, the stuff actually works. It works great. Like Andrew said, get it at 4 o'clock. We can get our letters done. We can get them sent out by 5 o'clock. Our goal is to get the letters to hit the next day. That's how fresh we like them. And we like them to be delivered. So yeah, I don't have anything more, but I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
It's fun.
yeah. Well, next time, man.